welcome back. Super Sports Saturday. We're at the Minnesota Motor Company on AM 1250 KBRF. Tom Uvaas is here to talk not only about the upcoming boys swimming and diving season, which he got a whole 2 days off after the girls season, but we're going to recap the girls. Tom, thanks for coming in.
Always good to be here.
Well, I expected
home.
I expected you to be here too. I was like, yeah, Tom will be there. Let's just start about talking about the girls and the wrap up the state meet. What another great competition for this Otter girls. You got to be very, very proud of what they accomplished this year.
They really did a great job when you think about it. You know, we had a young team, and they trained hard, and we had a really fairly good, solid section meet to get to state and taking fourth. And then at state, Abby Fisher saw a very nice backstroke. And, you know, the competition is that the A state meet has changed in quality. If you look at the A and double A times for finals, you're going to see almost a meshing there of times. I believe there are 13 All-Americans at the A meet, and which is pretty incredible. And I think double A probably had about 13 too or so. But it's a very fast meet, and if nothing else, you're always inspired afterwards because you see some kids that made a great commitment in their training and their goals, as Coach Ron just talked about, and what excellence is all about.
Your relay team, 200 medley relay team, got DQ'd. We talk about how everywhere you advance to sections and then to state, they watch things so much more closely. And during the course of the year, I know you don't see a lot of disqualifications. It has to be pretty blatant, I think. But you do hear of officials coming to the coach or to the team members and saying, hey, you guys have to watch this or clean this up. What happened in that event?
Well, you're absolutely right. You know, it's a lot different venue, the state meet. And you have officials that officiate at very, very fast and NCAA meets, Gophers, and so they've seen everything. And they watch it carefully. There were a lot of relays disqualified, so we should mention that right away on fast jumps. But you have to remember, too, these kids are really pumped up, and we need to have some fast starts there because a medley relay is a sprint event, and everyone goes 50 yards. So, you know, we were aggressive. We did everything we could. We felt bad about it, but it is what it is. And those are the lessons in life you learn. It's like missing a free throw or missing a goal in hockey, whatever it is. You know, you learn from those and you pick yourself up. Again, I'm just proud of the relay team, the response to it. They didn't get upset. They realize that they have next year, and we'll learn from it, and we'll be better prepared so it may not happen.
Yeah, and that's great to get that experience for those underclassmen, especially who are going to have more opportunities.
Well, we should accent the positives. We had some great splits there. Like Abby Fisher's backstroke was really phenomenal. I don't have the splits remembered, but I can just still remember. I thought Emily Hexum had a great breaststroke. I mean, Taylor Monk, had a tremendous butterfly. She's a very good butterfly, and she just hit perfectly. And then, of course, our sprinter was Danny Ross, who's a ninth grader, who did a phenomenal job. And the poise that she had to be up on the block, and keep in mind, this is a state now, is not a dual meet, and very proud of all four girls.
You had your awards night following this state competition, and a lot of kids deservingly getting some awards, and Taylor Monk was your outstanding swimmer, most valuable swimmer, and Rachel Appert again with the most valuable diving.
Yeah, they did a great job, both those girls. You know, Taylor scored 374 points, so she is so consistently solid. And you know, every meet she was the key person. You know, we moved her around. Sometimes she swam fly. One time she swam the 200 free for us, I think the 500 even. So we moved her around because we needed her to score team points, and she's so willing to do that. And you know, the thing about these kids is that we talk about character lessons, and that's what we ask them to do, is to serve others. You know, to be a team member. You know, being a team member is really critical in life, and she did a great job. And we're going to miss her so much because of her positive attitude and because of her great witness of being a teammate. And then Rachel Appert is unbelievable. I mean, again, we've talked about her work ethic is incredible. She puts time in it. She's so focused. She's so disciplined. And we really appreciate that. We revere those things. We honor those things. And she had a phenomenal performance in diving. She didn't make it to state, but man, I got to tell you, our section diving was incredible. I mean, those four divers, just the one girl that just beat her by just a little bit is an incredible diver, so no shame there. And of course, her consistency in diving and conference was unbelievable. And then, of course, swimming, she's on the 200 free relay. So here's a girl that, you know, is a diver and also, of course, a swimmer and participating at the state meets.
What are the challenges you issue to these underclassmen, Tom, for the off season and for the summer swim program? They do have opportunities to compete.
You ask great questions. I really did. I took notes. Here they are of Dave Run. And you're absolutely right. The whole key here, and I'm sure that Alan also will be talking in just a moment. We'll talk about the same thing. It's what you do in the off season. When you finish the season, not that we don't want 12-month swimmers. We really don't. I like three-sport athletes. I have no problems with that at all. But you have to stay active. And so when the season's over, I don't care if it's a section meet or maybe it's a ninth grade junior high meet. When it's over, then you start playing about what can you do to become a better athlete next time. That's the dream, what it's all about, and the time commitment you put into it and everything else. So we we talked about that quite a bit. We have a couple of girls that are swimming a little bit on their own in the evenings, which is really important. We don't have a lot of pools here, and that does really hurt us. We've got one pool really can use. And so, they have a distinct disadvantage to a lot of the swimmers who go to club right away down the cities, and we know that. But their attitudes are there, and they're working on some dryland stuff, I hope. And again, it's just like everything else. The more time you put into it, the more it counts.
I'm thinking now the transition here from girls to boys, and again, like Swed said, you had a couple of days off there to maybe refocus a little bit and clear your head and get ready for the new season. I'm thinking about Mike Hartwell and how his diving instruction might change, because he's been working pretty much with Rachel Appert and a couple of really young girls at the beginning stages, but now he goes into a situation where he has 4 varsity divers who are going to be scoring points on the varsity level, and that has to ratchet up the intensity a little bit for diving practice.
I'm going to be very sincere when I say this. Somebody should give Mike Hartwell a call and find out when his practices are, because you might want to just come and watch a couple practices. It's really incredible. He has 5 divers right now that are absolutely incredible divers. And they are doing double twisting. They're doing doubles, 2.5s right now. It's fun to watch. And Mike is in like a candy factory right now because he's enjoying it so much because he's got talent. He's got talent on the board. To dovetail back and forth between boys and girls, one of our strongest events will be diving this year. We really know that. We have 2 possible state divers diving on that team right now, which is unheard of in our history of our diving program. And hats off to Mike, and hats off to kids having talent and commitment. But it's fun to watch. So he's having some really good practices, but you're right, they're totally different. And the problem with Rachel, well, I won't say it's a problem, but probably what I wish we could have for Rachel is 2 more divers almost of even ability so that she could feed off each other like these boys are. But Rachel's at this practice, by the way. She's one of our lifeguards, so she's also kind of watching in and taking in the whole practice mentally, which is kind of fun.
Tell us about your divers, Tom, on the boys team here as we kind of move into the boys season here, because, again, you have some experience back in that position.
One of our captains is Kyle Rust. We haven't had a diving captain for I don't know how long it's been, and well-deserved. And I think he's going to lead very well as a captain of the whole swim team. We don't call him just a diving captain. He's one of our 4 captains this year. And Kyle looks very good. He had an injury last year, and he's very healthy now, and he's taking it one step at a time. Michael Osnes, who is a state scorer in diving last year and helped our team win the state meet, is back, doing great. Then we also have Reed Magnuson, who's a sophomore diving, Mikey Pastuca, who's also a sophomore, and then we have a younger diver who's diving.
Well, and you, as you mentioned, you were the state champions last year, and a lot of these guys experienced that, and I would think that's motivation in itself to have a year like that and head into the off season knowing that, hey, we're the top team in the state. We need to be ready to go out and challenge next year. I
think these divers, and I'm not really knowing what they're tracking them at all, but I think they've done a lot of either weightlifting on their own or some type of work on the board. Maybe they came in during open swim and dove on their own, but again, it's a lot different in our world compared to the cities, because in the cities you have a lot of dive clubs. The University of Minnesota has one of the neatest dive clubs around, and there's a lot of these divers will go there every Saturday and will dive there. And so our boys didn't get the opportunity, but I think they're prepared. And again, they have talent. You can do a lot with talent.
And overall, your swimmers included, you have 6 individuals who have state participation?
Yeah, we do. We've got a nice group coming back. We'll just talk about captains for the boys. Jacob Fisher is one of our captains. He's looking very strong. Matthew Jacobson is another of our captains. Unfortunately, Matthew got hurt in soccer, but we're hoping he'll get back. And I don't think he'll be competing, but just get in the water and swim a little bit. Then we have Dominic Jones, who's our third captain, or fourth captain. And again, he's a state participant. We had Joe Kitzman, who was a state participant, and Kel Mortensen. So we have a nice group of kids who are coming back, and Andy Sturger. And it's going to be fun to watch how well they do. And already we've only had 5 practices, you know. Well, actually, we've had 5 days and we've had 7 practices. So, but we've, from what I've seen so far, I'm very excited because the commitment level's there, and we're training, and but we're gonna have an interesting season. I'm hoping we could have maybe a 7-4 season. I'll be pretty happy with something like that. I mean, who knows how far we'll go.
You mentioned the injury to Matthew Jacobson. Joe Kitzman also has missed some time. What's the situation with Joe?
Well, Joe's gift is he's smart and in the water. He knows how to train. So he'll lay back a little bit. But we had time trials yesterday. He swam a 102 fly, which is pretty impressive, just kind of popping in the water. So he's going to do a nice job. He had a fantastic summer. I mean, at Champs, he really had, he and Cal and a few of the other boys had a very good, summer. But we're just hoping that he stays healthy. We're really going to miss Matthew. I mean, he's a very solid athlete, very intelligent, and was hoping that this could have been a good year for him. But we always believe that you always have another race sometime.
How set is your lineup, or are you still looking at a lot of different pieces there?
It's really unset. It's a homework assignment for me because I have to look at all this stuff right here and try to figure out. Maybe Jeff can help me because Jeff's kind of wondering what he should be doing. So
yeah, well, absolutely.
Take a few of those numbers, Jeff, and set up a relay for me, would you please?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
I want you to get involved in this, but I got to tell you, it's more fun than I deserve. But what we do is we look at the times. We try to figure out what's really good for them, and we have a meet Thursday, which is really hard to do, and then we also have a meet Saturday, which is the Otter Invite. Yeah. The Otter Invite's really easy for us because this is the meet that we allow the kids to swim their own events. So we really go in there, and it's kind of our Christmas present to them early. And so, they basically say, I like to swim the 100 IM, I like to swim the 500 freestyle. A few kids will swim the 15 to the 500. That's the only time they ever swim it. We do balance it out. We don't put everyone in the 500, everyone in the 50. So we want to have a good team representation. But we give them a chance to, especially the older kids, select their events. The younger ones will take care of that. But it's But the exciting thing is we have 32 swimmers and divers out, 5 divers, 27 swimmers, and that's the most we've had ever since I can remember. And we have 10 8th graders out, which is really phenomenal, and we're very excited about that. So I think that it's good to have times, and now we have to see what we can do. And Jeff volunteered Sunday to work with me, and that's great.
Did you do that?
Apparently I did.
Okay. Well, the coach asked,
I might call you, Jeff, and ask you for a couple.
Yeah, I'd be your best option there, I'm sure.
Well, the home meet with Brainerd or St. Cloud Tech, rather, on Thursday, the first one of the season, so good to have that one at home, I guess.
Yeah, it's a 6 o'clock start, and Tech will be a nice test for us, as I've written up, because I think they're a good team, and we'll see what we can really do. We graduated some very powerful swimmers. I mean, Eric Money, who's at St. Olaf, of course, and Michael, who's doing very well at Indiana University, and then, of course, Keegan is in Perm because he's a little closer for his family, and we're really going to miss Keegan. And then also, it was just a nice group of kids we had for seniors.
Well, it should be a fun year to see how these guys respond here, and the Otter Invite next Saturday, and we'll encourage people to get out and watch the action on Thursday night against Tech, and then the Otter Invite on Saturday 4 times. You're at home before Christmas, so opportunity is there.
This is really amazing. We have 6 minutes before the holidays, which is really hard for me because I love practice. So, but it'll be fun to see what we can do.
All right, Coach.
Nice team. So thank you so much for your support.
Thanks for coming in. Tom Uvaas, talking Otters.